Neil, just over a week since we lifted the County Championship Division 2 title. What's been your thoughts following the week and looking back on that special day?
Well, I just think it was a fantastic way to end a good season, a really good season for us on and off the pitch, and particularly in the Championship. I think the boys have worked really, really hard from the moment they came back in the winter into the marquee that we put up on the number one nets. They've worked really hard, and I think they really deserved it. And I think it was a fantastic way to end the season for the players, all of the coaching staff, the members in particular, and obviously, Trotty, Barker and Wright.
Because we were able to win it at Edgbaston, players then went into the Tom Dollar Lounge. They were able to celebrate. It was standing room only. That was a great occasion, not just for the players to see that, but for the members to enjoy the success as well.
Well, it was. I mean, we started that last year. We thought it'd be a nice way to end the season, which is to get the players to go up and mix with the members and have a drink. Obviously, last year was slightly different when we'd been relegated, but the players still went up and still met the members. But this year it was fantastic. From standing room only. Jim had to stand up on a chair to be seen and speak, and there must have been about 250 people in there, and it was really good. And the players stuck around and had a drink, had a chat with the members, and it was really quite emotional to see how much it meant to the members. The members, they felt the pain like we did when we got relegated the previous year, but they stuck with us. They're all great Bears fans. And I think the majority of them saw the transition that we were going through. They'd appreciated and valued the good times, realised that we'd come to the end of a cycle, but have supported us all the way through. So for them to be with the players with the trophy was a great end to the season.
Talk about that cycle, but it started pretty well, not only from on the pitch of the team, but individually, players like Will Rose, Dom Sibley, players that were brought in halfway through last year. They've really made an impact in the full season of the Bear.
Well, they have, and again, it goes back to that hard work. They worked really hard through the winter, and then came on. They had their opportunities. Obviously, we put Rhodes and Sibley together in that opening partnership in the Championship, and it was tough early on. It was tough, with some of the Division 2 bowlers and the pitches we were playing on. But I'm really, really pleased for them, the way they stuck at it and the way they come through, and some of the runs they were scoring at the end and the centuries was great. So they've certainly stepped up. As you said, Hose has come through in the white ball cricket. He'll get more of a chance in the Championship next year. And obviously the emergence of Henry Brooks, Ollie Stone having his sort of first full season, and then obviously rewarded with the trip out to Sri Lanka. So yeah, collectively it's been a good year, but individually there's been some really good performances that we're excited about, and I think set us up well for next year.
To play those younger players, sadly the older players have to leave. A word for players like Chris Wright, Keith Barker and Jonathan Trott, who have given so much to the Bear Ragged staff.
So yeah, I mean, you've got to start with Trotty. What a way to go out. Really pleased for him, and as he himself said, it was almost like he was transformed through the season once he'd made the announcement that he was going to retire, and it basically became a bit of a farewell tour for him. I was fortunate enough to be down at Hove to see him get that final century, with Ian Bell, and again that was very fitting to see them both together. But a great finish. He's, as he said, he's only ever wanted to play for Warwickshire. He's just a Bear through and through, and everything he's achieved in the game with us, with England, and it was a great send off on that final day here at Edgbaston, and then the end of season dinner. Again, there was quite a few tears, I think, all round as we celebrated the contribution of a real legend. And then with Barker and Wright again, going back to the Championship winning season in 2012. Real contribution from both of them. They've won every piece of silverware now together. But again, they're moving on. They've obviously got opportunities at Hampshire and Leicestershire, and we wish them the best of luck. But we've got our youngsters coming through, and then obviously with Norwell and Craig Miles coming in, we've got two new really good assets who we think will contribute to the team. So again, it is that sort of slight end of an era feeling, but very excited about next year.
Have you kind of made any targets for next year? Now we're promoted, is there anything that you want Ash to do, perhaps?
I think continue to do what we've been doing. I mean, Ash and his cricket management team have worked well. Obviously, we've got to remember there's some fresh faces there. Obviously, with Pop Welsh coming back, with Jack coming in as S&C and his team. That's been different, and obviously with Ian Westwood establishing himself as a development coach as well. So I think continuing to gel that team, getting the best out of the players. We never really set any targets for this year. We knew that our number one priority was to get back into Division 1, and we've achieved that. But we continue to want to perform well as a team, individual performances, England representation, which is great. Now with Wokes, Hayne in the Lions, and obviously Ollie. But we want them to continue to develop, and we need to continue to challenge for silverware. I mean, it is quite an incredible record. Even if you go back to 2008, winning a trophy every other year in all the even years since 2008 is a record that we should be very proud of.
It's almost like it's ingrained, and you mentioned a couple of names there: Graham Welch, Ian Westwood, Ashley Giles, Jim Trott, Tony Frost. Mm-hmm. All the coaching staff have played for Bears, and they understand what it's like to be a Warwickshire player. How important do you think that is from a coaching point of view?
I think it's really important, but I think it's also important to remember that some of them have gone away and come back. I'd be concerned if it was a little bit too samey, a bit too similar. You're absolutely right. I think in a way there's an element you've got to be a Bear to coach a Bear and bring the best out of a Bear. There is something totally unique about Warwickshire and Edgbaston from that perspective. But if you look, Pop's gone away, he's grown, he's developed with his time with Leicestershire, his time with Derbyshire. Obviously Ashley went away himself to England and Lancashire before coming back. So I think it's important to make sure that we're always refreshing that, getting new ideas, new innovations, but I think that is something special that they are all Bears. And again, this new generation, we've brought them through. Some of them have come through our Player Pathway programme. They understand what it is to be a Bear, but the other ones that have come from outside, we need to make sure that they live and breathe our values, and so far the signs are very good.
Very good, and obviously a very exciting time for the club.
So yeah, what an incredible year looking ahead to 2019. I mean, it is the biggest year in cricket that any of us can remember, with the Cricket World Cup and the Ashes. But as we all know, the biggest thing about next year is it's the 25th anniversary of the incredible treble in 1994. So we're already planning what we want to do for that. There's a book coming out that Pat Murphy's written with Stephen Chalk and Brian Halford, which is going to commemorate that incredible feat. And there'll be other things going on throughout the year. So that's going to be a big year for us. We'll also likely break ground with the enabling development. So the apartments on the along Pershaw Road, they'll probably start to come out of the ground at some point in 2019. And then we'll also be unveiling our Edgbaston master plan, which is for the further development of the ground once the apartments have been built through 23 and 24. So that's really important, but all of that really is underpinned by the high profile match awards that we got back at the beginning of this year. So we had a very, very rigorous and thorough process to pitch to the ECB for the matches that we wanted, and we really couldn't have been happy with the outcome to get 4 tests in the 5 years, an ODI or an IT20 every year, finals day right through to 2024. That really now underpins the financial model for the future. So it's still hard work. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. There's still the threat of Brexit and everything else going on, but we've got a solid financial model through until 2024, and that's obviously quite reassuring for us as a club, and also should be for the members.
And what's reassuring for us as well is England's record. We're calling it Fortress Edgbaston. It's a special place where England come always seem to win. That must give you great happiness as well every time we hold a major match day and England are victorious.
Well, it does. It is an incredible record, and we got a lovely letter from Paul Farbrace at the end of the season thanking us for everything we've done. He calls it the home from home. He was referring to how they love everything that we do for them when they come here, and they do play well. I mean, that victory in that first test against India this year really did set up the series, got them off to a great start. We've been saying for some time that we should always be the first test of the Ashes. We always know that when we go down under, we always start at Brisbane and lose invariably, and we've got such a good record here. We were keen to have that first test, and I mean the anticipation already is incredible. I mean, even though we had a great test match here back in the summer against India, even then people were talking about the Ashes, and the way the ticket sales have gone have been phenomenal. So we think the first 4 days will be sold out pretty shortly, and then there'll be a huge build up. Even though we've got the Cricket World Cup, I think the Ashes is going to be huge.
And that demand's led by the atmosphere, because we also take great pride in what we can produce here with the Eric Holly stand and creating that noise that no one else can really replicate.
Well, we do, and I mean, I love that. I love the atmosphere, and we can see that with the profile of ticket purchasers. They're coming from wider and wider afield across the UK, not just from Birmingham and the West Midlands. That's still the heart of the loyal supporters that come to Edgbaston. But the other thing that I love is, you know, you've got the members areas, you've got the RES Wyatt Suite, which has its own particularly dynamic. You've got the family stand, you've got the main south stand here. So and that segmentation works, because although we love people coming in fancy dress and having a great time, we also know we've got some more traditional fans who want to come in and not do a conga and do whatever else, singing the songs with the Barmy Army. So we love that, and that when we celebrate that, but it's also important that there's still room for the families and the traditionalists who like to come and focus on the Test cricket. So I think that's one of the lovely things about Edgbaston. It really is somewhere that anyone can come and watch cricket in any format.